Lynda Miller. Lynda has been a Toastmaster for quite a number of years. She believes in this club and loves the relationship she has made here. Lynda is also in the top 1% of real estate agents in Central Florida, averaging and selling, get ready for this, over $20 million in real estate each year. Wow. But wait, there's more. Coming from very humble beginnings, Lynda is a huge believer in retraining the subconscious mind to empower self-development and clear up old beliefs that no longer serve us. The title of her speech is called My Poor Childhood. Give it up for Lynda Miller.
Do you hear the music? It's getting louder. Look, there he is. There he is. I have to go ask my mom for some money. But I know what the answer's going to be. There is no money. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, guests. As my friends were all lining up at the truck to get their ice cream, I was in my mom's closet, dumping out all of her handbags, hoping that some spare change would fall to the floor and I could scoop it up. But then I remembered her voice in the back of my mind reciting the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. And I would pray to God for forgiveness as I too joined my friends at the ice cream truck. And then there were those designer jeans that every 12-year-old had to have, or you were just a social outcast. Each time I saw the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein commercial, nothing stands between me and my Calvins. I knew I had to have at least one pair, but there is no money. And so I had to get creative, and I did. I asked my mom if I could use the garage for the entire weekend, and she said yes. So I gathered all of my brother's stereo equipment. I strung up lights everywhere. I hung up a huge disco ball in the middle of the garage. I made tickets, and I sold them to each of my friends for my new garage skating rink. I made enough money over that weekend to go to the mall, and I stood at the register beaming with pride as the sales clerk handed me my new Calvin Klein jeans wrapped neatly in a shopping bag. I was finally getting the taste for financial freedom, and I was hooked. To continue my quest for wealth, as soon as I turned 14, I was out looking for my first job, which happened to be at Morrow's Nut House. Go ahead, laugh. My new supervisor, whom I called Noisy Nancy, she spoke with a heavy Southern accent, talked a mile a minute, and I learned absolutely zero during my training. And so each time a customer would come in and ask for cashews or chocolates, I just pretended that I knew what I was doing. Young miss, are you sure this is 1/4 pound? I would just innocently take the bag back, keep pouring more in, until I saw I had a satisfied customer. But of course, Noisy Nancy found out, scolded me in front of all the customers. But I was lucky I didn't lose my job, and I was so thankful to get a paycheck each week. It almost felt too good to be true, like it wasn't real. You see, my mother being a divorced woman, working at a trucking company, she had a completely different mindset when it came to building wealth. The words repeated in our home, we can't afford it. Money is the root of all evil. And if there is money, it should be given to the poor, and so on, and so on. On Sunday mornings, I would be sitting with my siblings at church as the offering plate would be passed around, feeling resentment towards my mother as she would shove dollar bills into that plate, knowing that we needed it. But in her own beautiful way, she was already teaching us through her own misgivings, and she would remind us, you cannot change circumstances, but you can change yourself. And she was right. Though I could not get past feeling undeserving, and it persisted into my life until I knew that I had to go back and reverse all of those old, deeply ingrained messages from my subconscious mind if I was ever going to get past a poverty mind. It's very hard to manifest something into your life if you don't fully believe that you can have it. And for me, it was being told as a child, money is hard. You see, the first 7 years of a child's life, the brain is like a piggy bank. The more the adult talks, the richer the child's brain becomes, not only with knowledge, but beliefs and programming. Once I began to understand this, I let go of all of those limitations that I placed upon myself for something that I thought to be true. And to know that we are all here on this earth to enjoy everything life has to offer us. Fellow Toastmasters, our lives are not predetermined at birth. There are no wizards in the background orchestrating all of our destinies. And we all have the ability within ourselves to change the course of our lives through our own thoughts. I leave the lectern today with a quote from Bruce Lee for all of us to remember with a dose of inspiration. As you think, so shall you become.